We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Superdome here in New Orleans. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season. Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
Yeah, what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. They run it again with Kamara. And this will wind up a Saints first down as he'll get this up to about the 42. The Saints at 2-4 here in the first half of the year. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 45-yard line. Kamara up the middle. And he'll work this forward for about 3 and second down. We can look at this Bronco defense coming into this one ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
And even though that's not the greatest ranking in the world, one thing you can say, they get after the quarterback. They're in the top 10 in the league in sacks.
From the 42-yard line, here's a 2nd and 7. Here's Flacco. There's Chris Olave. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A Saints first down there on a gain of 11.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. He finds his man, complete. It's Neal. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook. Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not a big run, not an explosive run, but they've held the ball for plenty of plays on this drive. They're just trying to impose their will on the defense right now.
Here's 2nd and 7. Now Flacco. And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Taysom Hill, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. A point after, good by Groupie. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, here's Groupie to kick this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Nix from the shotgun. Completes it to Evan Ingram. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. It's a gain of 34.
Usually in this spot, you'd hear an offensive coordinator saying, don't feel like you've got to get this all back at once. But here, they give up the opening touchdown and say, no time like the present to show what we can do too. And that's big yardage on their initial play from scrimmage.
Now it's Nix. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. And the Saints are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. This could end up being a pretty big drive. I mean, look, yes, it's early in this game, but they scored the touchdown. They got the stop, and now if they could get in the end zone here again, CD, they could grab an early stranglehold on this one.
Yeah, they certainly can, and that's what you're looking for. Where's the advantage? Can you gain it? Can you press it? Now for them, finishing it off, because right now it's out there for them. They've just got to go seize it.
From the 33, here's second down and 5. In motion goes the tight end. Second down, and it's Kamara again. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35. But you look at this Bronco defense. They're currently 21st, Charles, in the NFL against the run.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
Flacco looks to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A big play that time on the catch and run. 30 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Now a toss. Kamara left side. And he'll take this down to the 33.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
This is 2nd and 8. Setting up to throw, Flacco. This one taken in by Olave. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 19. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
2nd and 9. Play action. Flacco. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. Now Flacco. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. And his kick is indeed good. So another scoring drive there, Charles, and an early 2-score lead.
You'd like the 6 there, partner, but you'll take the 3, and I think they have to be happy about the way they moved the ball in these first 2 drives. They have to feel good about their opportunities the rest of the game.
Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
Here's 2nd and 10. First carry for Nick Chubb. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Third and 4. Off the play fake. Nix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Here's Nix. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. And the Saints are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
2nd and 8 coming from the 19. They fake the handoff. Now Flacco to pass. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
Well, how about that? The defense's first sack. It doesn't come from one of the usual suspects up front. It comes from the secondary.
Yeah, I think they caught the quarterback off guard a little bit because he wasn't able to account for the possibility of that blitz and change the blocking assignments. He comes through and puts him on the ground.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for 1st and 10. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory.
Talanoa Hufanga in on the stop.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. He took a shot as he let that go, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Passing play. Flacco. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
As mentioned, this one of the hottest teams in the NFL, riding that winning streak into this one. But
there he goes, right side.
Down the right sideline.
And all the way home for a Broncos score. A great effort there. An 80-yard touchdown.
And the Broncos are able to strike quickly here as they are in for 6.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And they can't bring him down. A lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
As we eat closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Oh, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. 7 yards there and a first down. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 10-7, our score. Here's Flacco.
Over the middle and complete to Shaheed.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Second down and a little more than a yard here.
Here's Kamara out of the pistol. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Here now, 3rd and a yard.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down.
I like liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up two.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. He couldn't get the edge there. It wasn't sealed, so maybe not all on the guy running the football all the time on those tosses and the pitches that go to the outside.
No, not at all. I would agree with that totally, because sometimes the defensive guys, they win the edge battle. And when they do that, there's no place for the running back to go, and especially for offensive linemen trying to get out ahead. With their footwork and speed, it was negligible on that play. No gain at all for the offense.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
A break from the ground game here. Flacco. Pitch and catch to Moreau, the tight end. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Flacco.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. And the Broncos are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line.
They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
Well, they're watching the film, and it's working. And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Reed. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice, an ambitious effort, but it's well short. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated.
And it's out. He put it on the carpet. And this is picked up by the Saints. And some space here. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. 60 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Ball resting on the 10-yard line. It's 2nd and 1. Now a first carry for their fullback. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. They can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
All right, let's put the check mark on the defensive side of the ledger there. Really nice tackle by the man in the middle. But why was he able to get that done? Because he has 4 down linemen in front of him, 2 tackles, 2 ends. And what they often try to do is create what we call a funnel. Right to the man in the middle linebacker, who often leads his team in tackles. Well, that play seemed well scouted defensively. They collapsed everything inside. Nowhere to go on the quarterback sneak. Now it's going to bring up 4th down.
And this one is right through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you're looking at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Nix to the air. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
2nd and 10. Off the option, he'll try and run with it. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. He'll get 9 yards on the keeper there, but it's still going to leave him with a 3rd and 1.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
2nd and 7. To throw, here's Nix. He'll go up top here for Hamler. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. KJ. .43 yards. And the Broncos are an extra point away from capturing the lead. And we remember, of course, all scoring plays need to be verified upstairs, and I think they're going to at least take a look at this. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Lutz with the extra point, and that will put them on top here in the 3rd. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And pretty good field position here. He's out of bounds right at the 35.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Kamara gets it again on second down. There's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 81 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Veteran running back like him, we've seen a lot of those chunk carries in his career.
And that's why you don't just look at his birth certificate and decide when a guy is done, right? Because you know as well as I do, in this league, as soon as you hit 30, they're looking to let you go if you're a running back. Sometimes there's a little tread left on the tires.
Alex Singleton, the linebacker, there on the tackle.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks, 42 yards. And the Saints have answered back with a third-quarter touchdown of their own to retake the lead. Now Flacco will lead them up as they're going to go for 2.
The Saints will line up for the 2-point conversion.
They'll look to throw. And that is caught for the 2 points. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. And his throw here is incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they throw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. Third quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. Working out of the gun is Nix.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Cortland Sutton, 70 yards.
And the Broncos are an extra point away now from tying this ball game.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. He's got it, and we're all tied at 21. A couple of teams locked into a good one here. 21 all the score as the kick's away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
We got a brand new ball game, all even after that last touchdown, so every drive now becoming a little more critical here in the second half. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 95 yards rushing now for Kamara, and it's a first down.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now 2nd and 9.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Flacco fakes the give, sets to throw. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
That one on the guard, Cesar Ruiz.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
He's letting it fly for Cooks. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Groupie for the extra point.
And it's good. That makes it a 28-21 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out.
Operating from the gun, here's Nix.
Flushed out right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality, was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on a flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Throwing Nix.
Throw left side, complete to Ingram. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage after the catch as that play good for 30 and a first.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22. He was out there waving his arms, and when you get a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Sets him up nicely. First and goal. It was a pickup of 14.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7. But first things first, they need to score as they come up on first and goal. Touchdown! Evan Ingram from 8 yards out.
And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And an important one that is, as we are all tied now early in this 4th quarter.
Boy, what a start to the week this has been. All tied 4th quarter as the kick's away.
Pass midfield. And he'll go out of bounds all the way down inside the 35.
Well, so much for the worry about how they would be after losing their lead. What a big-time return to seize the momentum back.
Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
Flacco.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
Here's Flacco. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga.
And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
Well, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst, a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows the defense to tighten up their coverage, and they pick that one off.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Second down, here's Chubb again.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
If they get nothing else here on third down, it'd be a 53-yard attempt from this spot. They run it again with Chubb. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. He's had his eyes on 7,000 career rushing yards, and with that last effort, he has hit that mark. What a career.
And that is the number to focus in on, because oftentimes we talk about where do they rank all time. We're not there yet. He's not knocking on the top 10 or the top 20, but over 7,000 yards in a career, fantastic.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4.
You know, when this offense gets down here near the end zone, they're going to turn to their bell cow. And this guy's been a touchdown machine all year. Excellent job stopping him there on first down.
Chubb will take it in. Touchdown, Denver.
Did you see them hold up 4 fingers to the start of the 4th quarter?
They were ready.
They were definitely ready. They may or may not have done that, but they certainly have played that way. The 4th quarter has belonged to them, and now the lead belongs to them as well.
What's good on the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
Oh, a good return up past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. Here's 1st and 10. Flacco.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game.
Well, this offense still has the 1 timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. Now Flacco.
Eluding the pressure right.
He completes it to Alano.
And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
This is 1st and 10. One last gasp for Flacco. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. And now time for one final play that has to be obviously in the end zone.
Can't wait to see what they call, but you want to get it to your best player. Sometimes you have to do it by formation. Move everyone to one side, and maybe he gets a one-on-one isolated on the backside.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, they got the tip they were looking for but couldn't secure it. And this one's over. Partner, what a finish to this one. I mean, this offense, they had it down there inside the red zone, but ultimately couldn't execute that final snap to find the end zone.
Yeah, and they're going to walk away from this one, and you know what's going to go through their heads the entire time until they get to play again. If we could only have that final snap to do over one more time, maybe with a different play call.
So for Denver, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Panthers next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week